Hello, happy Friday. It is Janelle here doing my lunchtime live on Friday. I've got that set up to see if anyone is available to join us. Today I'm talking about procrastination. One of those habits that absolutely produces the most guilt in our lives forever. Hello, thanks for joining. Nice to see you here. Procrastination is one of those actions that really gets us in a bind, doesn't it? Because we have so much to do these days on our plate. If you have a business, if you're running a side hustle, even our full-time work, if you're running a family, there's so many things on our to-do list all the time. And sometimes we just want to sit there and do nothing at all and zone out, scrolling on the phone, watching Netflix. Even though we've been in lockdown on the East Coast, I think there's just been so many things that we want to tap out from. So today I want this video to be able to help you. And please feel free to ask any questions if you have any about this topic, if it is something that shows up in your life. First things I want to share with you is that procrastination in my map of the world is 100% sign of overwhelm. So we often have 10 to 20 browsers open in our mind at any given time. I have no doubt that right now you are thinking about what's happening in the world around us, what's happening with your work, what's happening in your relationships, with your friends relationships. You're probably thinking about your animals or your kids or your pets, what all these things that you have going on in your life. We have an open browser open in our mind for all these things. And that can get really, really overwhelming, especially when there's some big decisions that come up in our life, especially when they're big scenarios like what's been happening coming out of lockdown. Life can feel really overwhelming. And so immediately what our mind wants to do is to tap out and do nothing at all when we have so much going on. And so what I want to share with you today is some tools and some tips to be able to help you when procrastination shows up in your life. Hey Anna, lovely to have you join today. Talking about procrastination, overwhelm, and guilt. I hope that you get value out of this session. So as I mentioned, we have all these open browsers in our mind, and the problem with procrastination and the reason why we want to zone out, tap out, think of other things to do, watch Netflix, binge some shows, is because all those open browsers in our mind, they're constantly going, thinking. We have so much happening in our world and in our work. The sheer volume of work that we have in our lives is sometimes really overwhelming. And the problem with procrastination is that it is the most guilt-producing behavior on the planet. We can sit there, we can feel really overwhelmed. We're wondering why we're not doing anything when we have so much to do. Hi, Jessie, welcome. Thank you for joining. And what happens is that mindset chatter begins. The guilt starts to come, the feelings start to rise in us, we start to feel bad because all the chatter starts. You should be doing this, you should be doing that. Why aren't you working today? Why aren't you working on that deadline that you have, that you know that is due in a week's time or a day's time? Why are you leaving everything to the last minute? Hey Marlo, thanks for joining. So procrastination basically produces guilt because it sets off the mindset chatter. Where does procrastination come from? It comes from being overwhelmed, the sheer volume of work that we have to do in our lives. So the biggest limiting belief that I hear in the women that I work with, and definitely in my own life that I had to work through with procrastination, hey Sophia, talking about procrastination today, is basically that belief that I am lazy. So when the procrastination starts, when you have so much on your plate to do and you just want to sit there and do nothing at all because you're feeling really overwhelmed, the mindset chatter starts what comes up? Oh, I'm so lazy. I can't believe I'm sitting here doing nothing when I have so much to do. Who's been there? So it's one of the limiting beliefs I work with a lot of my clients. Yes, your favorite topic, Sophia. Is to first things first, stop berating yourself. So if you are hearing that chatter that comes up, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I am lazy, I'm this, I'm that, no-go zone. I want you to stop. I want you to hold up a minute and just stop. Because you are not lazy. It is literally that you have so much going on in your life, my belief, 100%, and this may or may not resonate with you. You've got so many open files in your brain, in your mind. You have so many things to worry about, to think about. Maybe you're feeling anxious about something. Maybe you've got decisions that need to be made. That literally all you want to do is just tap out so you can just close down the mind. Am I talking about you, Sophia? So that you can close down the mind and just get some peace. So first things first, stop berating yourself. You are not lazy. Maybe you need to assess the overwhelm. And we do that by using a little technique that I love, which is called chunking down. It's a mindset coaching technique to help you to bust through the procrastination. And, you basically start by saying, okay, why am I feeling this way? What is really overwhelming me right now? And you list all the things that are overwhelming you right now. And this absolutely works. And I share this with my clients. I'm going to bring out live for you. I just ripped it. This is a picture of my overwhelmed, messy mind. This is me doing the chunking down technique. So I'm owning my stuff right now. This is what's going on in my mind. There's even stuff on the back. So a few months ago when I was feeling really overwhelmed by life and I was just procrastinating all the time, I used this technique of chunking down and I said, okay, if I have 10 open browsers in my mind open right now, I am going to get it all down on paper, because if it's on paper, it's out of what's happening up here. So I put down a line and a column for everything that was going on. So I had work, my business, I had Ethan, my son, I had my husband, what was going on with him, home life, my dog Minnie, who was sick and she had just been diagnosed with skin cancer, Al-Anon, which is the volunteer work I do, and then also me, my health, what's going on with me. And so all of these things were open browsers in my mind. I wrote everything down. I got it all down. What specifically is causing me to feel this way about work? ... What specifically is causing me to feel this way about Ethan, about home, about the pandemic? I got it all down on paper and I started to feel some relief, because the next question I'm going to ask myself is, how is that a problem for me? Juggling all these open files right now, juggling all there is to do in each one of these buckets, how is that a problem? Well, that's causing me to feel really overwhelmed. And when I get really overwhelmed, I procrastinate. And then what happens? The mindset chatter starts. And then what happens? I start to feel guilt, and then I don't want to do anything at all. So in order to help you to move forward, you need to get really clear on what it is that you're procrastinating on, what it is that's overwhelming about that item. Hey, how you going? Thanks for joining. We're talking about procrastination. And then how is it a problem for you? So having all of these things open in my mind and feeling really overwhelmed about them, I needed to make a game plan so that I can help myself move forward. So then the next question is, what's preventing me from starting with X? So out of all of these things that I've just written down on my crazy woman's bit of paper, what is one thing that I can choose to help me to move forward in one item with work, so that I can feel like I'm taking one step forward instead of feeling that guilt of not doing anything at all? Is this resonating with anyone? Please let me know. Give me a couple hearts or shoot me a question if you have a specific question down the bottom that I can share the answer with you at the end. So it's really about getting clear on what it is that you are feeling overwhelmed about that is causing the procrastination, that is causing you to feel this guilt. So if we can clear up what's overwhelming you, then we can clear up the mindset chatter and we can clear up the guilt. I hope that is making sense. So what is causing you to feel this way? What's one thing that I can do to help me move forward today? Whether it's my schedule, whether it's something to do with, at home, can I just spend the next 10 minutes organizing this one section of my workspace? Is that going to help my mind feel clearer so that then I can move forward? Sometimes that I find in business, when I am procrastinating something, when there's something that I just am like, I don't have the mental capacity to do right now, and I'm feeling overwhelmed about this project I have on, literally the best thing that I can do is just get busy cleaning my office. And creating a bit of space in my environment helps to create that space in my mind as well. And it actually makes me feel like I'm being productive and I'm moving forward. I'm not saying, no, I'm not going to do that thing that I know that needs to be done. I'm actually just saying I'm going to do one small thing to help me move forward, to trigger my mind to know that I am being productive. I'm not sitting here being lazy, which is the default that the mind often goes to when we're procrastinating. Why am I sitting here doing nothing when I have so much to do? So Bea, I'm not watching you right now, but you know this. You know these tools, so I want you to be practicing them, please, miss. Thank you for sharing. All right, so with procrastination, again, I'm recapping. So when you start to feel procrastination is in your life and you just want to be scrolling or opting out, we need to get clear on what's really causing you that overwhelm. Getting it down on paper, putting pen to paper like my crazy scratch over here really does help to understand what it is that you are thinking about in your mind constantly all the time, getting it down on paper. That helps to start alleviating it. Stopping the mindset chatter that says, I am lazy. You are not lazy. You're just feeling overwhelmed, and we're going to create an action plan. So once you've written everything down, you choose one thing to move forward on. And that one thing might just be cleaning up your workspace. It may just be, opting out for a minute. The other thing I want to share is sometimes when we're really overwhelmed, it's because we've been pushing for a really long time. This year, our mind has been going. We have so much to think about. We have so much on our plates all the time because we're dealing with living through a pandemic. It feels like we have been more stationary than ever, but often what's happening is it doesn't stop the mindset chatter. The mindset chatter keeps going and going and going. So sometimes I give myself a break and I say, this isn't actually procrastination. This is rest. I'm using this time to rest my mind and my body, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to allow myself to do it. And when I'm ready, I'm going to make that next step forward because I know that moving forward is how I'm going to be able to get these things done. I hope that makes sense. So letting yourself off the hook as well sometimes. Why are we procrastinating? Because we're feeling overwhelmed. So maybe I need to relax. I'm just checking my notes to see if I've covered everything. Does anyone have any questions about procrastination? Just drop them in the comment box below. So explain that it's a sign of overwhelm. I explained that we have 10 or more open files in our mind. Procrastination is the most guilt-producing behavior on the planet. It keeps us stuck, and guilt always seeks punishment. So it is going to begin that mindset chatter that tells you you're not good enough, that tells you that you are lazy, that you should be working or cleaning or studying or calling someone when you really don't want to be doing anything at all. You're not lazy. I'm telling you right now, you're not lazy. So stop berating yourself. Work out what is causing you to feel the most overwhelmed right now. I'm going to check the questions. No questions. And then help yourself to create an action plan to choose one thing to help you move forward. What is one thing I could do that would start to be moving me in the right direction? So if you have loved this topic and you want to learn more about it, overwhelm and procrastination and how it produces guilt and anxiety is something that I talk about in my 7-day stress mindset detox online course. It is a program that you can pick up and start any day of the week, any hour of the day, and it goes through a lot of what we spoke about today in more detail. It's awesome if this topic resonates with you and you want to deep dive in more into how to release these feelings and this limiting belief of I am lazy, or you have fear around procrastination, or you don't know how to organize that overwhelm of all the open browsers in your mind. It's a DIY course that you can pick up and do anytime to help you understand stress, overwhelm, anxiety, guilt, resentment, perfectionism, pretty much. I cover so many things in the 7 days. It's just 7 days long. You also learn my morning and evening routine to help you reduce stress and anxiety. And by the end of that 7 days, I can guarantee you, if you have followed all of the steps that I share with you, you will be feeling way less overwhelm, way less anxiety and guilt, and start to understand, know, and love yourself even more, to be able to release yourself from those feelings of guilt. So I hope that you found this valuable today. To jump on that program, you can find the link in my bio. It's called the 7-Day Stress Mindset Detox. Head to my website. You can enroll anytime. It's $147 for 7 days of mindset coaching with me. So I'm just going to check the comments again. And if there are no questions, sounds like all of that was clear. I hope that you have the most amazing weekend. Anyone who's watching the replay, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I will be sure to check in over the weekend and help you. Thanks, Marlo. Take care. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Enjoy the freedom. I know that Melbourne has got crazy weather at the moment, which is very unsettling. So please take care and I hope that you all are safe. Thanks, Anastasia. So good to see you. Thanks for joining, everyone. Bye-bye.